What is up, you heathens and demons? I gotta look over here. I'll probably be looking this way most of this, but, yeah, I gotta kind of move things around just slightly. Try to give myself a little more room up here. We'll see how it works. How are y'all doing? How you doing, you sinners and saints? You beautiful, blasphemous bastards. Today I want to do something different. I want to look at a person who has changed the world. You know, people will say, like, one person can't change the world. I've had a lot of people tell me, especially in my youth when I was, you know, alive in my dreams, that I could never change the world through my art. And today we're going to look at somebody who has literally done that. And he's struck again. And if you don't know who Banksy is, you'll get to find out today. Or kind of. You'll get to find out about Banksy, but you won't get to discover who he is. But yeah, this is an artist that first came on my radar, I would say, probably about a decade ago. It was when, and we'll see it in what we're going to watch today. It was when the painting, and it's actually a painting of the mural that I used for the thumbnail, destroyed itself upon selling for like 850,000 pounds. It was crazy. It seems like Banksy had set it up to go off when the gavel dropped, when it was sold. And yeah, this is an artist who has captured my heart a long time ago. And if you've never heard of him, if you're going to catch this on the watch along or on the playback, I think you'll find it interesting. And if you've never heard of him, I think that you'll have seen his work, his or her work. I think it's pretty well known that it's a he. There are people that know who he is. He definitely has people that work with him to pull off the things that he does. But I think that this is an important person. This is what I've always said since I've discovered him and started following him. Yeah, you're always at work, Marty. I do stream earlier now, though. I forgot my line of thought, but this is a guy that's changed the world, and this is a guy that the world is looking for again because he's just struck again. So I figured we'd start there, and then this is a documentary that I don't really have to stop at all. So I'm gonna try once we get to the documentary to his account, and yeah, that's what I was speaking of. Like, people definitely know who he is. You know, he had an agent who knows who he is, who works with him. He hires people to work with him because the way he gets away with it is rather ingenious. So, and once we get to the documentary, I don't have to pause it. This is something that I can show straight through. But I will pause it occasionally to give my thoughts. But yeah, if you don't know who Bansky is, I think prepare to be amazed. I think even if you don't agree with his politics, you have to appreciate the man's art and how he's gotten away with it for so long. But without further ado, he struck again. He struck again. I think it was on Sunday. It was verified that it was Bansky on Monday. And it's a big deal over in London right now. So yeah, we'll start there, I think. And then we'll get to Who is Bansky, the documentary. Hopefully I can use this.
The elusive artist.
You know, I try to find something like on a source that I know I could use. I'm not sure if I can use The Hill. I'll find out. But like, I did a Google search on CNN, you know, especially when I saw that CNN did not cover the recent Banksy. The last time they covered Banksy was 9 years ago. And it's just further proof that CNN is corporate media. They don't really have any journalistic integrity, and that's all of major media. Banksy speaks against establishment, and the establishment hates him, and they've been trying to catch him for a very long time. I guess they're going to try to compel him to reveal his identity with this latest stunt in London. I'm like, good luck. I think I think we tried to do it several times here in America. I think several countries has tried to catch him. It's kind of like a catch me if you can story. If you remember that Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks movie. And I'm looking over here where my camera usually is, but my camera's over there now. So I'll get used to that. But yeah. So let's get into it.
Banksy could be compelled to expose his identity after lying low since the mid-90s. I mean, Banksy set off British authorities after painting his latest mural on the walls outside a London court. Now, the artwork depicts a gavel-wielding judge pummeling what looks to be an unarmed protester. Banksy posted a photo of it on his Instagram Monday, captioning, quote, Royal Courts of Justice, London.
The mural was quickly covered up and is set to be removed, but according to reports, the Metropolitan Police is considering treating it as criminal damage, possibly bringing the street artist in front of a judge where his identity would likely be revealed.
The work doesn't directly point to a specific incident.
So, like, for one, like, I understand, like, establishment hates Banksy, but, like, and I understand, like, it's going to cost you several $1,000s to remove it. And if you do it right, you're going to remove it with the Banksy intact. And then you're going to sell it and you're going to make millions. So, like, this is something like, while, yes, he's defacing your property, he's also blessing it with more value than it ever had. Banksys sell for millions if he lets them sell.
But it follows the Saturday arrest of 900 protesters who demonstrated several pro-Palestinian events, the biggest of which was in support of Palestine Action, a group that UK lawmakers have banned under an anti-terror law. Yeah, so I think it was, artists sometimes get symbolic and get involved, but it's a legal issue because that is a federal building. And so you can't commit a crime even in the name of art.
Well, I think that's kind of the point of the art. It's a direct slap in the face of the parliament over there, of the judiciary system that's going to, it seems like it's kind of doing the same things that we're doing here in America, And it seems like most of the Western world wants to pretend it's free until you speak out against Israel. And that's the facts on the ground at this point. You have freedom unless it's speaking against Israel. Seems to be the fucking case at this point.
I think what Banksy has been doing culturally is important and interesting, and art sometimes draws or mirrors what artists feel are happening around the world, and that's an important part of our culture. But at the same time, when you are damaging public property that belongs to the government, don't expect for them not to bring you for your day in court.
Yeah, he really screwed up this time. Now we're going to find out what he looks like.
I know. I've been wondering what he's looking. It's almost like the singer Sia. You remember she used to
yeah.
I don't know where she's been lately, but
can you wear a disguise in court? Probably not.
I guess he can like, what can
but
you
then
like
a judge
actually
could order you to, take off your hat or something. Right?
Like, what if you consider it makeup? Put on like you can wear.
All right. So who is Bansky? Watching stories like the story we're about to watch, it kind of reiterates the feeling of failure that I have. This is what I wanted to do with my life. I always saw myself as a great artist, especially when I was a lot younger. Saw myself as a great artist, as somebody that wanted to use his art to change political dynamics. And I failed at that. I didn't accomplish that dream yet. I still have a chance, I think. But what we're about to watch is somebody that not only accomplished that dream, but knocked it out of the fucking park. Like I said, I became aware of Banksy a long time ago at this point, and especially, with the newest piece that he's unveiled to the world, with the London government now determined to reveal his identity. This is a documentary. I watched like half of it earlier, but this is a documentary I haven't seen. But I did watch half of it earlier before I decided, I want to watch this if I can. And then I researched it, and it looks like I can pretty much watch it uncut. So I'm not going to pause it too much unless the stream goes down. and I, and I was wrong. So when it comes back up, I'll be pausing it more at that point. But without further ado, who is Banksy? Banksy is Andy Reid. Not yet, but ICE is mighty close in Chicago, so nothing weird here yet, Cheshire.
So 5 days?
It was Frieze Week in London, which is, I suppose, the week in the London calendar when everyone in the art world is in town. And the contemporary evening auctions are the biggest in London, and this was Sotheby's. It was a huge sale, 60-odd lots, and this Banksy was positioned right at the end, the last lot of the evening.
I was bidding for the Banksy.
This is when I found out about
balloon,
Banksy.
and it was the one that everyone connects Banksy to.
The year before, so I think in 2017, it was rated as the UK's most favorite art piece.
For me, from a collector's point of view and a dealer's point of view, it's the Holy Grail.
Chevy Silverado HD.
There will be
America's most dependable heavy.
There wasn't that many on the playthrough earlier, so hopefully there won't be that many on this playthrough.
And
but again, I only watched like half.
Go with balloon, ladies and gentlemen, standing in the back of the room. I'm going to start getting in 100, 150, 200,000, 300,000, 350, 400,000, 450,000, 500,000.
The estimate being quite low, that encouraged deep bidding, and there was a lot of energy. It was a big sale.
Is anybody? 700,000.
We went up to £650,000, stopped there. Towards the end, I think there was maybe about 2 or 3 bidders left.
800 now. Thank you. No pressure. Last chance at £850,000. 860. Bastian will be bidding and selling for 860,000. Thank you very much.
When the hammer comes down, that's always very loud because it clearly demarcates the fact that the work is sold.
That's what I said, Banksy.
It all happened in sort of like a split second. The gavel came down.
See, I've been gone for a while. You forget I had this weird, as I choke on my weed, I had this weird coalescing of Yankee and Southern Hillbilly. Banksy, that's what I'm saying.
The alarm started beeping.
Everyone's attention and everyone turning around and all the mobile phones going up.
What's happening is that some sort of like a fire alarm, there's someone steal a painting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to move on here. Sorry for having your attention.
It stopped halfway, and 2 technicians were sort of ushered out to take it away. And usually they'd have white gloves on, and they didn't. So there was kind of an indication that this wasn't expected.
Fucking shredded it.
Franked by Banksy. Is this a real Banksy? Was this pure genius or?
It wasn't
Just
that
sold
the
for
painting fell out
£850,000
because the frame was broken. It was choreographed.
Knowing that Banksy is a great provocateur, immediately the question was Banksy in the sale room himself? And it seems that he was. But again, unproven, so this is what keeps you guessing. Who is he? Where is he? Is he here? Is he,
He wasn't in the room, but I...
How do you know?
Well, I don't know, but I saw the person who activated the alarm. He had a briefcase with some mechanical machines in there.
There was a man with some sort of, not disguise, but, dark glasses and a hat or sort of...
He was wearing sunglasses, yes, and he was wearing a hat, I think.
It's like a comedy. It's like a pastiche, it's like a caricature.
Was this a prank? Was this a stunt? Or is this art?
It was a major art statement. Is it?
That was probably like the last time CNN covered it. I didn't actually watch the video that came up. Or, you know, and I searched the YouTube CNN, so I could be like, they might have covered it and it's just not on their YouTube channel. But, you know, so it is art, and it's also a slap in the face of greed, of wealth, a slap in the face to the art community, probably. You know, I find it like odd that he still hides his anonymity, because most people want fame, and he is literally like the most famous artist in the world, and he just doesn't really, he seems to care more about his cause than fame, and I fucking love that. I think it's such a rare thing. Maybe he already has fame. There's speculation that he's like a rock star or something. They'll get into it in this documentary, but I don't know. I fucking dig that, man.
The price that makes art worthwhile, or is it because you look at it and think this is brilliant?
The art world is very snobby. To most people, it's impenetrable, and Banksy punches through that wall.
It's like a massive fuck you to the art world. It is. Oh no, sorry, I am not allowed to say fuck.
His work supported the underdog, fighting against neoliberalism and capitalism.
He created a new way of selling, marketing, talking. He alerted a generation to the ills of society.
How the fuck did he get up there? I'll tell you how he got up there. In the middle of the fucking day, on scaffolding, dressed as like a construction worker or something. You know, that's how he did it. In the middle of the fucking day.
Banksy, à l'heure actuelle, il fait partie des 10 artistes les plus cotés sur le marché de l'art contemporain.
And selling for £8,500,000. Congratulations.
£8,500,000.
Famous and yet invisible.
The NYPD would like to arrest him, but just take a look at how ordinary New Yorkers are responding.
Everyone's trying to own a bit of Banksy.
Bad day, people. The Banksy has been removed from the wall of the Players Park.
Banksy! What do we want? Banksy! When do we want it? Now!
It's just a massive old circus.
99.9% of the world's population have no idea who Banksy is or what he looks like.
People think the anonymity was a like smart marketing trick by Banksy, a move of pure genius. And it was.
With Asana, AI teammates are here to help level up your goals.
It always happens like when I'm taking a drink or something. You know, I can't get to it right away. I've got to get YouTube Premium. I'm probably going to do that this week. I should have the money to do that this week. So we won't be dealing with these ads anymore. I might have a room later, or I might have a room tomorrow, you know, but until the rooms really start popping, this is going to be like the majority of the content I put out until I get the editing program that I decide on. you know, more than likely I'll go with Adobe Premiere because it's what I know. But it's also kind of weak at this point. There's better programs, and I just have to learn a different one. So I don't know. I'm going to really kind of shop the market. But for now, this is the majority of the content. Oh.
In self-promotion.
Let's go back a little bit because that was kind of an important part. So this dude was Bansky's manager or agent.
99.9% of the world's population have no idea who Banksy is or what he looks like.
Bansky is definitely not a zebra. Definitely not a zebra.
People think
I'm saying Banksky. All right, I see what you're saying, Puff. I am saying it wrong, and I'm thinking that I'm saying it right. Banksy. I think I'm saying it right sometimes and wrong sometimes. I think I'm adding an extra K occasionally, or most of the time. I haven't figured it out yet.
Anonymity was a like smart marketing trick by Banksy, a move of pure genius. And it was, but it wasn't done deliberately. It was more self-preservation than self-promotion.
How urgently he was wanted by the police, I don't know, but he was certainly painting on walls, and that's a crime. Originally, anonymity was completely essential for him.
I think when they do find out who he is, if they ever do, it'll be really hard to lock him up for a long time.
En fait,
I think you'd have an outcry
c'est refuser de jouer en fait le jeu de la société.
Banksy showed that if you don't want to be anonymous, you can. He is, probably in the Kardashian age, the only person that doesn't want to be famous.
Banksy is almost kind of an unofficial spokesperson for people. I mean, we all would like our politicians to speak our language, but they don't, on the whole. Deep down, people feel like he's an everyday person and people can relate to that. He's one of us, you know. Keep the mask as it is, then that's fine. We can project.
Aujourd'hui, Banksy, c'est le double de followers sur Instagram que le Louvre.
I don't know if you caught that, but think about that. Banksy has more followers, twice as many followers on Instagram as the Louvre, right? Like, he is the Michelangelo of our time.
Banksy, il parle pas au 1% comme les artistes de l'art contemporain. Il vient parler au 100%. Il a déjà très rapidement une sorte de patte. Il y a vraiment un côté très ironique dans ses œuvres qui font qu'elles sont immédiatement reconnaissables. Une sorte de sarcasme, d'humour un peu british.
Easy, simplistic message that you can get when you're going past on a bus, you're going past on a train, or you're walking down the street. They're bold enough to be seen from the moon. Between the humour, politics, and the simplicity of the message, he managed to capture everybody. From small children to grandparents. It's like it sucked in everybody.
l'homme qui lance le bouquet de fleurs. Je l'avais fait au départ à Jérusalem en 2003. Tout le monde s'est approprié cette image pour protester contre la violence de la guerre. Même si on ne connaît pas le contexte de Jérusalem, l'image fonctionne quand même parce que ça rejoint une révolte adolescente, étudiante d'une jeunesse qui est en colère.
Banksy's the voice, shouting out, screaming against what was happening in society. There were more and more arrests, stop and search. There were more and more security cameras. You were being monitored. You were being monitored through your phones. You were being monitored on the street. It was him, a single voice, bringing all these other voices together.
So welcome along everyone to the Bristol Street Art and Graffiti Art guided walking tour, where this morning you will be discovering why Bristol is the street art and graffiti capital of the UK, possibly of Europe too. Plus there's insights into the life and work of Banksy. Not Bansky, it's Banksy, which is based upon his original artist name, which was Robin Banks, which is far too long. So he's shortened his name down to Banksy, and the artist we've all heard of was born from that very moment.
Ah, on ne sait pas si Banksy est vraiment né à Bristol, mais on sait qu'il est de Bristol dans le sens où c'est là que sont apparus ses premiers graphes dans les années 90. Et donc il a vraiment pris cette ville comme terrain de jeu pour son travail.
No veteran should ever have to pay.
All right, so good time to like chat about like tagging and the art form that it is. The best way to go about it is the style that Banksy utilizes best, which is like doing your art at home, making your stencils at home. And it's pretty much like the quickest way to go about what it used to be called like renegade tagging back when I tried to do it. I wasn't ever really good at it. That's kind of what we called it when you're doing illegal tags that if you get caught doing it, you're going to get in trouble. But I always appreciate like when taggers are working with the community. And when they actually have time to do real art, or I'm not saying that this isn't real art, because this is real art, but to like really do a mural of for a community. I'm thinking a lot of like Tupac murals, Kobe Bryant murals even, but just murals like within the community that become special to the community. Those are always my favorite tags personally. But the art form, like however you do it, I mean, it is so hard to do. And then there's that element of, getting caught if it's one of those illegal tags, and doing such high quality art, like in the confines of that stress, it takes the art to a different level, in my opinion.
Intervention sans autorisation et en posant.
I unmuted it, but I must have muted it twice. We went back just a little bit.
Ah, on ne sait pas si Banksy est vraiment né à Bristol, mais on sait qu'il est de Bristol dans le sens où c'est là que sont apparus ses premiers graphes dans les années 90. Et donc il a vraiment pris cette ville comme terrain de jeu pour son travail.
Le graffiti dans
I
le
think
milieu,
I saw that,
c'est
John.
vraiment l'essence
I
vandale
just
des
haven't
choses.
looked at it yet, but I think I
C'est-à-dire
saw like
intervention sans
videos
autorisation
of it.
et en posant ce qu'on appelle son blaze. Et donc, il démarre par cette énergie vandale. Le graffiti n'est pas un médium de communication pour la population. Le graffiti, c'est fait pour parler entre soi. Il y a un moment de bascule où il va adopter la technique du pochoir, beaucoup plus mainstream, beaucoup plus populaire pour venir dire des choses au plus grand nombre.
We already discussed that, Jill. Banksy. I do mispronounce it sometimes. I do add a extra K in there. Banksy. Banksy. I think I say it right most of the time. I followed this dude for years. I love this guy. I love him and I hate him. Because again, it is a stark reminder of my failures
là, il
in
touche
life.
un public qui est beaucoup plus large, qui est beaucoup plus important, des médias aussi qui sont plus importants. Et là, en arrivant à Londres, il y a vraiment un impact beaucoup plus important sur l'ensemble du pays, en fait.
This young guy from Bristol spread his message throughout London. And it was those very early stencils in London that just hadn't been seen before. So it was like a new voice in a bigger city. It started really in 2002. I was sat in my photography gallery and an art dealer who I knew came in and he had a roll the size of this of Banksy prints, and they were all rude coppers. He peeled one off, put it down on my desk and said, "Do you want to buy these?" It was a picture of a copper holding his finger up like this called rude copper, and I didn't get it. Within 2 weeks, I realized my mistake, and that suddenly these works were taking off, and kids were going in to these pop-up shows that Banksy were doing, buying these prints, going straight back to their digs, getting on their computer, getting onto eBay and flipping them for profit, and create this crazy market that took off at such an exponential speed. It was quite shocking to watch.
Yeah, so I thought I saw a video on it. All right, let's interrupt the scheduled programming and see if I can find anything on that. I thought I saw something on it. If not, like, that might be something I cover tomorrow. But yeah, I thought I saw something about Charlie Kirk getting shot. You guys can see my messed up algorithm. Politics are coming back slowly because I've been watching politics again. But also all the other shit. I'm not seeing anything right away. Oh, Charlie Kirk has been shot. The Surf Times.
You've heard the promises.
I don't want to snipe a stream. Never mind. Yeah, so it definitely looks like Charlie Kirk has been shot. So yeah, that'll be something that I look into, and maybe, you know, if I do have a room later this evening, it'll be something we talk about, or if I have a room tomorrow. But definitely want some information on it. But yeah, let's get back to this.
Watch.
Il est insolent en fait. Il parle à cette jeunesse parce qu'il en est, quoi. Il en fait partie.
And I kick myself to this day that I wasn't in early enough to understand it, because I'd be a lot wealthier now.
The trajectory of his career is aligned with that of the internet. Because for the first time ever, suddenly there was a tool that these artists couldn't get representation by the galleries and weren't being accepted by the museums. Suddenly their careers flew because they could get their work out. What museum and gallery in the world can bring you that kind of audience?
Painting walls isn't enough for Banksy anymore. A graffitied elephant, the star of this American show.
Très rapidement, il se dit que le mur ne lui suffit plus et qu'il faut absolument qu'il perce le marché de l'art.
A step away from street art, this is Banksy's graffiti rendered into 3D. Banksy says this is a different kind of family day out.
Welcome to Dismaland. Enjoy.
Il a un inventent carrément un Disney horrifique. C'est l'inverse de Disneyland. C'est un Disney qui ne repose que sur des images très très glauques de mourants, de migrants en train de se noyer. Un autre endroit, ça va être les médias qui vont prendre pour leur grade. Un autre endroit, c'est le rêve qui est brisé. Et Banksy va dire, mais vous vous rendez pas compte, en fait, derrière Mickey, derrière le château de la Belle au Bois dormant, il y a ça, quoi. Ça, c'est la réalité.
Et ce qui fait qu'il sort du lot, c'est son propos cinglant. C'est quelqu'un qui vient appuyer là où ça fait mal, qui mène des combats. Et finalement, est-ce que c'est pas là l'essence d'un artiste?
Wow, through the neck. That's rough, bro. You know, I don't condone violence, especially on, you know, political opposites. But sooner or later, you know, your bullshit will catch up with you. And I'm not even talking like the rhetoric he spews personally, but the you know, the right wing of this country has promoted American gun culture, and sooner or later, people are going to stop shooting at kids and start shooting at adults a bit more, I think. I'm surprised it's taken this long, honestly, for it to happen. But, like, I don't condone violence on anybody for their political views. And you know, I wish him a speedy recovery. Getting shot through the neck is rough. I mean, that's rough. Hopefully he survives. Yeah, I definitely need to find out some more information on that. I'm not going to try to interrupt the stream on it anymore, but yeah, that's rough, bro. Wow. Wow. You know, unfortunately, I think the violence will get worse and worse and worse. We have too many guns in this country, and the country's at a boiling point. And they have riled up this boiling point for decades. I'm scared to live in America, honestly. I think it's going to get pretty fucking rough.
He is the most famous artist in any point of art history. You might have Leonardo da Vinci and a couple of others might come close, but in terms of the most recognizable artist today worldwide is Banksy.
Aujourd'hui, on peut dire que c'est un artiste qui est là pour toujours. On a le Picasso devant nous du XXIe siècle, on a le Andy Warhol, il n'y a plus de discussion là-dessus.
Oh no, yeah, that's big news, John. I think it's worthy of an interruption.
UK graffiti artist Banksy's moved here for a month and he's promised to surprise the city every day with a new piece of work.
That is very true.
AI is transforming customer service. It's obvious we know that. The leader in that category is our...
More commercials this time around, it seems. It's like it knows I'm streaming. Yes, that is very true, John. That is very true. And it's the conundrum that I, as a pacifist, I need to move over here a little bit. Kind of the bad part of my setup. I have very little room in this room to kind of work with, but this is really the only room I could put my setup here. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But we are at a commercial, so it's a good point for it. Yeah, I mean, you're right, John. And it's my conundrum as a pacifist, as you know, an anti-violent, you know, anti-revolutionary. Like I always think that you should be able to find political solutions, but you're exactly right in your statement there.
City Wall. His fans and New York detectives alike combing the city in a hunt for the murals.
He basically did, a gallery exhibit on the streets of New York, and nothing was for sale. That did get the city kind of Banksy crazy. Like a Banksy would appear and everybody would turn up and be taking pictures in front of it.
Head down a bit, head down a bit.
Every morning, there was like a new Banksy, which is pretty cool.
Et en fait, il joue sur l'adrénaline, quoi. Il joue sur l'excitation du public qui va se dire chaque matin où est l'œuvre de Banksy. Je veux être le premier à la trouver, je veux être le premier à la relayer, je veux le voir en premier.
So I'm hoping we can spot it here.
Okay, here it is.
Been looking all around for him. Just driving around earlier today, found this one, so awesome.
Layla.
On était à l'époque 2013 quelques-uns à le suivre, mais là où c'est devenu hallucinant, c'est que chaque jour on était plus nombreux à suivre sur les réseaux sociaux.
Banksy has taken the Big Apple by storm.
Je me rappelle qu'au bout de 8-10 jours, ça faisait les JT de toutes les chaînes du monde entier.
Banksy está dejando su huella.
De grandes fresques réalisées à la faveur de la nuit.
On voit vraiment des mouvements de foule, on voit que les gens se passionnent complètement pour ce jeu de piste.
Where's Banksy? Where's Banksy? That's the only thing that New York City was talking about. I haven't seen that kind of excitement in the city about something going on. And, I've lived here my entire life. My wife's cousin called me around 9:30 in the morning and said, you have a Banksy. I said, oh shit, really? And he said, yeah. I said, oh, that's pretty cool. Let me go see. So I walked over.
I would have his reaction. I would probably be a little more excited. But I would have anybody. I wouldn't even want to tear it down to sell it, despite being a poor person, right? Like, I would want it to keep it there where it belongs. I would want to keep the art where it's supposed to be. I would want to try to preserve it as best as I can, as he's going to. But, like, these people that get offended that they have a Banksy on their fucking building, like, seriously, you need to stop crying them crocodile tears, because, like, he just literally made your building historical. Like, he made history. You are now part of history. And he made you a good profit if you choose to take it. If you don't appreciate art and you choose to take that profit, I don't knock you for it. It would be hard for me to stay true to my principles and leave it because I'm so utterly fucking poor. But I would like to think that I would, because that's where it belongs. And I love when they do that, when they leave it where it belongs.
Here, and I looked, and all of a sudden I see we have Banksy. There's hundreds of people, and I see there's news teams starting to show up. So we took my building engineer, and we got a big piece of plexiglass, and we came over here. And then people started yelling and screaming, "What are you doing? You're defacing, you're defacing the Banksy." And I'm like, no. I'm the general manager of Zabars. Zabars owns this building. We want to protect it. And then we got a standing ovation. It was like everything changed in a second. I think it's a miracle because he never got caught, and he's been doing it his whole career. He's under the radar. He's like Superman. You just can't catch him.
You running up to somebody's property or public property and defacing it is not my definition of art.
Graffiti does ruin people's property and is a sign of decay and loss of control.
So the mayor may be contemptuous. The NYPD would like to arrest him.
Je me rappelle le maire qui lance comme ça une conférence de presse et d'un coup il est pourchassé par la police Parce que c'est finalement une insulte aussi à l'ordre établi qu'il est en train de faire, se permettant chaque jour d'investir des nouveaux murs, des murs publics, des murs privés.
The New York City Police Department would like to remind you if you see something suspicious in the station.
There was a catch-me-if-you-can element to it, and it's weird with all this surveillance and everything else. You never saw like surveillance footage of him actually doing his work.
Le public recherche Banksy, les autorités recherchent Banksy, la presse recherche Banksy. Il avait tous les paparazzis aux fesses. Enfin, c'était pire que la famille royale britannique, quoi.
Je pense qu'aujourd'hui, il est devenu tellement important que l'anonymat lui-même est une quête pour beaucoup de gens pour le démasquer.
Definitely not this many commercials earlier when I watched like the first half of it when I first got out of work before I went and picked up my daughter. So I think YouTube knows I'm streaming, but like YouTube, I've got 6 people watching. You know, I've been getting like maybe 200 on the playbacks total. You know, like you don't gotta worry about me, bro. Oh, stop.
To wake up every morning knowing that the very tenet of your existence, the core of what you are, is at threat every day. Every day you pick up a newspaper, every day you turn a radio or television on, it could be game over.
Est-ce la fin du mystère Banksy? Personne n'a jamais su qui c'était. Aujourd'hui, un blogueur dit avoir découvert son identité.
As a journalism student, I had to come up with ideas and articles that would attract attention online. Me being stupid, me being young, me being a bit of an idiot, I was like, fuck it. Why don't I go after the biggest story in the world? Not like who killed JFK, but something everybody can connect to, something everybody is interested in. Who is Banksy? If anyone is going to find out who Banksy is, why can't it be some guy in his pants on a Sunday in his house, a student, typing up like a hacker? I felt like I was a hacker. I'm kind of like the overweight guy eating McDonald's, you know? This all started on January 28th, 2016. I went to see Massive Attack in Glasgow. The show was amazing, although I was very drunk. I thought to myself, holy shit, Massive Attack are from Bristol, Banksy's from Bristol. It was a general consensus that they operate in the same world. And I was like, okay, let me see if I can find something. One of the first places I looked at was Los Angeles, 2006, because that was something that really stood out to me when Banksy went into Disneyland and he left a kind of human crash doll dressed up as a Guantanamo Bay detainee. I was like, okay, here I have a specific more or less date about Banksy. So did Massive Attack play a concert there? Bingo. Massive Attack played 2 concerts, one in Anaheim and one in California, in Los Angeles.
Massive Attack se retrouve en tournée américaine et passe par le Hollywood Bowl, donc on est en septembre 2006. Donc c'est vrai que ça coïncide totalement avec la présence de Banksy à Los Angeles.
That for me was a good starting point. And then in 2010, Massive Attack went on concert. They played in San Francisco, they played in Boston. Looked at newspaper reports from these cities, I realised that Banksy had been there almost like one day before or one day after. Okay, man, this is definitely a connection being made here.
It makes sense. Massive Attack comes as a one-night gig in New York, and like for the next 30 days, the city is plastered with these crazy Banksy pieces.
These kind of like snippets of information and connection just kept on being fed into me. In 2008,
yeah, I'm
Banksy
seeing like the way
left
I'm
14 stencils around New Orleans.
My
But
screen
in
is
New
way
Orleans,
over here now.
Massive Attack
It's
hadn't
probably not
played a
gonna work
show.
out.
If Massive Attack weren't playing a concert, why was Banksy there? Bang. 2008, Robert Del Naja, the singer's history, went to New Orleans to give the premiere of a documentary film about Hurricane Katrina.
Robert Del Naja a fait la musique pour un doc qui parle des erreurs qui ont été commises sur la gestion de l'ouragan Katrina à la Nouvelle-Orléans. Et dans le même temps, on voit des œuvres de Banksy apparaître à la Nouvelle-Orléans. Notamment, une des œuvres représente la police en train de piller une boutique. Ces deux artistes, au même moment, vont dénoncer la même chose.
Ils ont vraiment des similitudes qui sont assez troublantes. C'est-à-dire que, par exemple, Robert Del Naja n'a pas hésité à diffuser des images en grand écran de migrants pendant un de ses concerts. Banksy s'engage aussi aux côtés des migrants. Robert Del Naja est clairement positionné contre la politique d'Israël, Banksy aussi. Donc, si c'est pas les mêmes personnes, en tout cas, ils ont les mêmes engagements politiques.
There was the anti-Iraq war when Tony Blair was in power here. It was one of the biggest political rallies in history in the UK. And Banksy did a whole set of placards for that called Wrong War.
On sait que Robert Del Naja a manifesté contre la guerre en Irak, contre Tony Blair en 2003. Donc on sent voilà, qu'il y a à différents moments de l'histoire, il y a vraiment des causes communes très fortes pour ces deux personnes.
I also never realised how Robert Del Naja was part of a graffiti movement. He kind of kick-started the movement, not only in Bristol, but even in the UK. He was one of the real original graffiti artists under his old moniker, Delge, of 3D. Banksy said 3D was a big influence on me. Robert Del Naja said, oh, Banksy was a big influence on me. People always assumed that they were friends, but no one suggested they're just talking about themselves. He's just talking about himself to throw people off the chase. The turning point, or the point where I said to myself, I've got him, as if I had like a net. I'm running behind Banksy and I'm like, I caught him, was in Naples. But in August 2004, Banksy left a stencil called Madonna con la pistola. Robert Del Naja.
A trusted strategic partner already by your side. Imagine that. We can.
Team, it's been a grind, but
Always when I'm doing something. Always.
Funny name, Italian name. His dad is from Naples, and he is a crazy Napoli football fan. And the first time that he attended the stadium was almost the exact same time when Banksy left the stencil there. And that's when I said to myself, you fucking done it, son. You know, I was like, it's him. It is him. Robert Del Naja is Banksy.
The world may have finally discovered the secret identity of the renowned guerrilla street artist known as Banksy. A British student named Craig Williams proposed the theory in a blog post back in January that Robert Del Naja of the electronic hip-hop trio Massive Attack is behind the international works of art.
Before I even finished my journalism course, I'd already done the biggest thing that I will ever do in my life as a journalist. So it's pretty fucked up, but cool by another.
Banksy et Robert Del Naja ont les mêmes engagements politiques, mais si je voulais un peu plaisanter, je pourrais dire que j'ai les mêmes aussi et que ça fait pas de moi Banksy, quoi. On peut chercher des points communs. Pour moi, c'est pas forcément des preuves.
I don't think that makes, Robert and Banksy the same guy. I mean, I would love for somebody to go deeper and say, when was a Banksy done in a certain city? A massive attack was completely somewhere else.
Il y a totalement des incohérences dans la concordance des dates. Le 20 octobre 2014, il y a un pochoir de Banksy qui apparaît qu'il est la jeune fille à la perle à Bristol. Et en fait, la veille, Massive Attack était en concert à San Francisco. Donc, il n'aurait pas pu en fait faire le concert la veille à San Francisco et ensuite aller mettre un pochoir dans les rues de Bristol.
You would never be able now to know who Banksy is. At least 50 to 60% of my time was spent trying to keep him anonymous.
How?
Oh, all sorts of things. We do fake news stories. We were way ahead of Donald Trump on the fake news. Part of it was putting out news stories. I put the websites and everything were in my name. Lots of things we did that I'm not going to tell you about. My years with Banksy were the best years of my life. We lived like kings, but without any rules. I picked out some of my favourites over the years. So this is my favourite portrait that I've done. I think we went from there to the city farm and did something really weird. So this was great. This was in West London. And this is a good example of him working middle of the day. That's not a quick stencil. That's not a 5 minutes and done. That's probably an hour of him on the street doing a piece with no one saying shit. There was another time where we closed off a street with cones with guys with high-vis jackets, pretending that a road was closed so you could do a big piece underneath a bridge. All sorts of various techniques. I've never, ever known him do anything at night. It's like an invisibility cloak. You put on a boiler suit and a high-vis jacket, and you look like you're supposed to be where you are. Most people just walk past.
This dude is just so phenomenal.
Institutions are very careful about making sure no
the
one steals their
intelligence he must
paintings.
have to get away with it for so long.
They never had any interest in people going in there to put up a painting. So he sort of shuffled along, dressed in a sort of beard and mac and everything, and put in a painting on wall.
It's almost like he had to have some kind of intelligence training or some shit, to know how. I mean, to be that great of an artist usually comes with setbacks, right? You're gonna be kind of withdrawn. Usually, you're gonna be very introverted. Usually, you're gonna be within yourself. Back in. When I was at my best with my art probably in my early 20s, I was a very introverted person. I mean, very, very introverted person. I had a small circle around me, and that was pretty much it. That's just kind of how a lot of artists are. That's how I was back when I was doing my spoken word thing, and I was making a name for myself. So to have that ability as that good of an artist seems like I don't see how you can describe it as anything other than genius. It is artistic genius at its very highest levels, and it's like he must have had some kind of formal training in disguise to be able to get away with it for so long, to understand what's gonna, what people aren't gonna be looking at.
It was Banksy who put it up, but already there was a bit of a team with him.
I went with him, so we did a dry run the day before. Then we went back the next day to do it for real. So I had a little camcorder, so I was filming as we went up the steps. I go to get into the tape, the security guard stops me, says, "You're not allowed to film." I'm like, shit. It's like, if we don't film it, then it's...
I don't even know who you are and nailed it. And I haven't deleted anything since I've been back, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, do people not understand, like, YouTube deletes shit? So if you, like, wrote something that was, like, fucking terrible, YouTube, I will never see it.
It's all for nothing. I'll end up flicking the lens cap off the camcorder and film it all with the camera down by my hip, just hoping that there was some footage, which there wasn't yet.
What's up, secular pagan mom?
Everything was kind of planned out with meticulous precision. Nothing was really left to chance. There wasn't many things that happened that weren't, like, thought through and planned.
I mean, it's almost part of his kind of modus operandi to choose remote areas. They seem random, but obviously they aren't. They're quite premeditated.
Banksy, c'est vraiment un génie situationniste. Il vient dire la bonne chose, au bon endroit et au bon moment. Ce petit chat dans un décor de ruines, après une séquence de bombardement il y a plusieurs années à Gaza, et tout le monde s'interroge, hein, qu'est-ce que fout ce petit chaton? Et là, il nous dit, le sujet le plus regardé dans le monde entier sur les réseaux sociaux, ce sont des chats, des petits chatons. Si je veux que vous vous intéressiez à ce qui se passe là-bas, je suis venu faire un chat pour que vous puissiez mettre votre nez et regarder ce qui se passe là-bas.
The work he's done in Palestine drawn so much world attention for the young people who would never have engaged with what Palestine is, what Israel is, are suddenly aware of this. And I think his crusade to make that visible and to highlight the injustice that's happening there, I think is admirable.
Banksy has set up the hotel in Bethlehem as a political statement. It's a big attraction to Western holidaymakers.
The hotel is very special because it is a hotel with the worst view in the whole world.
So it attracts these people, and whilst they're staying there, they get to hear about the exact political situation of the Palestinian people, which isn't normally reflected on the television news particularly well or in a balanced fashion against the other side of the story.
On peut faire un coup de génie une fois, mais lui, les coups de génie, il les enchaîne tout le temps. À Venise, il vient faire cette performance en montrant ces énormes paquebots qui rentrent dans la lagune alors que Venise est en train d'être détruite, est en danger. Il vient réaliser cette œuvre sur la place Saint-Marc. Et une semaine après, les deux paquebots se percutent. Alors l'art devient fou, il ne peut pas l'avoir deviné. C'est quand même délirant. Chaque fois, il fait mouche.
We had this idea of raising money for a project to provide fresh water.
So, Robin, yeah, we
the Zapatistas are an armed social movement who rose up against the Mexican state and against 500 years of oppression. And I think Banksy felt an affinity for the Zapatista cause, as we all did. Banksy painted some murals in those communities. Did his research before he went out there, so he looked at artistic tradition that there is out there. This was the first time he'd gone abroad and done painting abroad and tried to shine a spotlight on a struggle in a different part of the world. Of course, after that, he went to the various other places around the world.
Thursday Night Football on Prime is back. It's on.
It's going to be a hell of a game this Thursday night. Yeah, me and Kent Hove and CPA had bad starts to our season. But it's only week 1, my friend. It's only week 1. I cannot lie. I did not like the way my Lions looked on Sunday.
Season's greetings was the only comment from Banksy as he posted this video.
Yeah, we're about halfway over with this. I did stop and commented on it earlier. I might look for something after this. But yeah, that's pretty much my take. Like, I don't condone violence on anybody. I hope he recovers. Getting shot in the neck is brutal. But yeah, it's kind of like, at this point, you've promoted. I mean, you and your party have promoted American gun culture for decades. This shit's gonna happen, and it's gonna get harder and harder to really walk the streets. The more people become emboldened with these actions.
Video online confirming he was behind this gift to the people of Port Talbot. At first glance, the boy is playing in the snow, but the work expands to reveal a burning skip and the ash it emits. It's the kind of political messaging that's often in his work and references the impact of Port Talbot's industrial skyline.
Banksy fait une œuvre qui dénonce le dérèglement climatique et donc qui dénonce la pollution des industries qui se trouvent donc à Port Talbot, qui est une région assez polluée. Et en fait, tout le monde s'est dit mais qu'est-ce que c'est que cet endroit? C'est quoi Port Talbot? Les gens ont commencé à regarder sur une carte, ont commencé à se documenter. Et c'est là où Banksy joue de sa notoriété et en fait finalement une arme qui est très puissante.
I imagine that's part of the excitement from his point of view is, I don't know how much exploration he does, but to find areas, knowing there will be publicity and excitement, it almost forces the media then to travel to these places and explore little pockets of the UK. So it's quite a clever concept, really, to actually enforce people to be part of his plan.
What did you guys think when you saw it for the first time?
Well, I thought perhaps anybody could do that. Shows I don't know anything about art. But yeah, the more I've looked at it, and I've come to appreciate it now. And
yeah, do you think Banksy's here today?
Is he?
No, well, I'm asking you. Do you think he's
Well,
here?
we don't know. Nobody knows.
You could be interviewing him.
There's a lot of intrigue around that.
Yeah.
Shit, you're saying he died? Is that confirmed? I mean, getting shot through the neck is rough, bro. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but fuck, bro. Why am I saying bro so much today? God damn. Yeah, if that's confirmed, that's shocking. And I think it's going to get a lot worse.
So, you know, Banksy puts them up on walls in places that you think they're safe.
Yeah.
And I come along and take them away.
And that's what gives you great pleasure,
And it gives me, I mean, as I say, I own about 20 originals. And the trouble is that, and a lot of his artwork has got tagged or damaged by other artists. So now it's a case of moving it into town, and then it'll be permanently on display where people can just see it all the time.
Bullshit. You know, it's, if someone walks into a warehouse and finds a Banksy sprayed on a gas canister, fair enough. Yeah, but if you're going around and like ripping it off a public wall and taking it out the side of somewhere, you're just making the city a poorer place. It's just a very
It's a disgrace.
21st century, self-centered, narcissistic thing to do.
I mean, that should be considered a disgrace. You know, like governments, and our government will fight to keep Confederate statues, but they will tear down art. You know, they would tear down a Banksy. It's like taking a sledgehammer to the statue of David. Literally, that's what it is. It should be a crime.
And they should be punished. Corporally, death.
So there we are. We have Banksy going to his new home, but it doesn't matter because if we turn around by here, we have Banksy on my wall. They're now moving it and putting inside a building. That's not street art, it's building art. Not the same, it's got no meaning downtown. It was done here to cover the steelworks, it's got a meaning.
Damn, yeah, I think we'll have a lot to talk about.
For everybody to enjoy, that's what he's done it for. Banksy doesn't do it to sell them. You know, he proved that with his painting that he shredded. No, all they want to do is make money from it. And we'll miss him now. Be opening my gate, and what have I got? A big hole in the wall. Yes, that's not good. That's not good.
Banksy is so careful about where pieces should be placed, and he doesn't particularly mind if they stay there only for a time, but they shouldn't be taken out of that place for gosh knows how much money.
Une œuvre attribuée à l'artiste britannique Banksy, volée dans la nuit de samedi à dimanche à Paris.
Exclusive video of guys who decided to scale a building, cut down the latest Banksy work, and...
Banksy, à l'heure actuelle, il fait partie des 10 artistes les plus cotés sur le marché de l'art contemporain. La moindre œuvre de Banksy est détachée d'un mur et directement quelqu'un va la vendre aux enchères.
Alors je pense qu'actuellement, ses œuvres sont plus traquées que lui.
C'est donc la porte entière qui a été arrachée par les cambrioleurs. Réalisée au pochoir et à la peinture blanche, une œuvre dessinée sur une porte arrière du Bataclan.
Yeah, I hadn't made it to this part of the documentary, but I think I had seen something on this before, and that wasn't really coming to mind earlier. Yeah, this would be the downside of having a Bansky on your building, is because people don't appreciate art. People only care about money. So I could understand like taking it down, at least taking it down or making sure it's preserved and can't be stolen. For sure.
En hommage aux victimes du 13 novembre 2015, tuées dans la salle de concert par un commando de terroristes.
Having a Banksy that's taken off a wall and being sold, I just think is morally and ethically really wrong.
For a decade, I was making money out of Banksy street works, and I saw absolutely nothing wrong with what I was doing. I recall sitting in my delicatessen down in Kent, and I got a call from a colleague saying, "Have you seen the new Banksy?" And I was like, "Really? Another Banksy?" And by this point, I was sort of not famous for it, but I was notorious for the guy who goes and takes Banksys away and upsets everyone. I said, "Send me a picture." And he sent me a picture of this really ugly mural on a wall. But I saw its potential to make considerable money.
Art buff is an elderly lady. She's got one of those headsets on that you go to a gallery and somebody's telling you what the artwork means. And in the front there is a plinth, and the plinth is empty.
My intention was to make as much money as I possibly could. I had good contacts at Miami Art Fair. I'd been there a number of times. I had the credentials necessary, and I agreed that we would try and attempt to remove the piece with a team of guys who can pretty much move anything on the planet.
I should have perhaps realised what they were going to do, because they come in and start covering the area with scaffolds and chopping the Banksy out of the wall.
We started at about 8 o'clock in the morning. As the noise echoed across Folkestone, suddenly more and more people started appearing, and it was clear that they were carrying protest placards. They were venomously against what was going on.
It felt like we were being robbed of Folkestone's Banksy. You know, we believed it belonged to our town. You know, we wanted to benefit from it and to see it every day. We could be quite smug. We've got a Banksy. Have you got a Banksy? It was a bit like that.
I mean, these were relatively middle class, working class, small town folk who suddenly turned into these sort of harridans and monsters screaming abuse at us and my construction guys. I mean, it wasn't just verbal abuse, it was physical abuse.
It was just, no, why are you taking it? How can it be taken away? And I think the fact that everyone felt it was being taken away for money.
I feel... I'm not even watching this anymore because I feel this dread. I feel this dread, right? I don't even want to say what I'm thinking, because if what I'm thinking is right, I'd probably be dead soon. If you were gonna set up a fascist regime, and you ran on a platform of locking up your political enemies, and your base just said, "Oh, that's Trump being Trump." You need a reason to start locking up your political enemy. Fascists always need a reason. But I mean, that is like jumping to some really dark conspiratorial hoops. I'm gonna let other people talk about it, but like I am literally not even watching this anymore. I'm just like feeling this dread. You know, it seems like we have events occurring that's going to lead to, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucked up.
It was even more frustrating.
Whether you've got dogs that leap or dogs that hurt.
I don't know. Yeah, I definitely need to think about this shit and get a lot more information. Who is this guy? This registered Democrat? Why are Democrats all of a sudden like, or not Democrats? It just seems like all of a sudden there's a lot of narratives that are just readily available. I don't know. I don't believe in coincidence. And the CIA has a history of propping up right-wing governments. I don't know. Fuck, man. I just have this really, really dreadful feeling inside right now.
Bank robber, as he's known.
It was even more frustrating.
Everybody run up there, they're trying to stop it happening. And then Robin Barton, bank robber, as he's known, the gallerist, he was there walking around winding everybody up and telling them that he had total rights to take it. Because the more upset you are, the more noise there is. The more noise there is, the more media there is. The more media there is, the more value there is.
It was a long, long day. I mean, it was 14 hours of drilling and cutting. We finally pulled the last piece of the wall out around about sunset, and off it flew out to Miami. By putting it in Miami, the contrast would be so great from where it originally came from. A broken down third world town of Folkestone, and then you've got the glitz and glamour of Miami, and having all the Americans staring at it was quite appealing to me. As you came into Art Miami, there it was, boom, right in the middle, with a price tag of $500,000 on it.
There's, of course, a certain irony about selling an artwork for a huge amount of money to a collector, about the vacuousness of the collecting of artwork and how value is put on art and so on. But no, it was painted to go on that wall. It was painted to be in an urban setting, and we'd actively got involved in trying to bring it back.
Because it's an illegal act and put out there in the street, covertly, without permissions, there is no copyright issue whatsoever. The person who owns that wall, that door, that window, that floor, is the owner of that artwork. And it gives me the right, on behalf of those freeholders, to sell the works.
So it's legal?
It's completely legal as long as, and this is the critical mass, as long as the freeholder can prove without question that they are the freeholder.
But that doesn't tell you who emotionally owns it. It's emotionally owned by the people of the town going, this is Folkestone's Banksy. I'm from Folkestone. It's my Banksy.
Whilst I was sunning myself in Miami and drinking I know not what, I got a lawyer's letter saying, we have discovered there is a greater freeholder and that the Godden family were indeed not the freeholders of the building. At this point, it was game over. I was forced to dip my hands in my pocket and pay for it to be returned to Folkestone.
It's good that we've got one. It's good that we kept it. No one can touch it now. It's our Banksy, owned by Folkestone. Hands off.
What's up, Native? Yeah, we know it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up shit happening right now.
So you can see that the whole piece looks amazing, but if you get slightly close up, you can see there's this chop here. The paint is cracked, and it's where the saw came and just cut this out of the wall.
Yeah, I don't even think I can really focus on this anymore, and it sucks because this is worthy of focus, but I definitely don't want to go like crazy on speculation. See what I can find. So it's Charlie Kirk assassinated. Trump confirms death. What the fuck, bro?
This is CNN Breaking News.
We have breaking news to CNN. A source tells CNN that Trump ally and the founder of Turning Points USA, Charlie Kirk, was shot at an event on a college campus in Utah.
And the extent of Kirk's injuries at this point are not immediately clear. Let's talk now with CNN's Kristen Holmes. We have CNN political
This is
director
like an hour
David Chalian
old.
with us as well. Kristen, what
is.
can you tell us?
Brianna and Boris, I want to be very clear. I cannot tell you that much right now because this is a very fluid situation. People are still trying to figure out the details, the extent of the injury, and what exactly unfolded on that Utah campus. As we have reported, Charlie Kirk is a close ally of President Trump's. Not only that, he is somebody who helped him get elected this cycle. He is often seen here at the White House. He runs Turning Point USA, which is a youth organization where he's tried to galvanize thousands thousands of voters, Republican voters. He's also a controversial figure at times. He goes into these various college campuses, pushes conservative issues, gets into heated back and forth often with these students on these college campuses. But of course, none of that is violent. This is the first time we've seen this kind of reaction, obviously. So what we know right now, everyone is monitoring the situation. He was shot during this event on this Utah campus, and they are still unclear what exactly the extent of those injuries is. There are a lot of videos circulating right now on social media that are showing the crowds running away after gunshots went off. But again, we are still going through all of this and talking to sources to figure out what exactly happened and how Kirk is doing at this time.
Kristen, please stand by. David, as we work to confirm some of these videos that are circulating online and we try to get an awareness of the status of Kirk's health, it's important to step back and point out the impact that he's had in recent years on politics.
I do want to bring in, we have an eyewitness to the shooting who is on the phone with us, Radon Deshane. Radon, thank you very much for being willing to call in and tell us what you saw here. Can you walk us through where you were, what you saw, what you heard this afternoon?
Yeah, so I was right up front. So there's a tent for Charlie and his security and whatnot and his hats. And then there was like two guardrails with a walkway between the two guardrails for the people that were going to go up and do their prove me wrong debate.
I mean, I have to say, like, the way you defeat Charlie Kirk is the way Tilly defeated Charlie Kirk. You know, you eviscerate his arguments to his face. You don't shoot him in the neck. The fascists are going to use this. This is a fucking catastrophe.
And then I was right up against if I was looking at Charlie, I was off to the right center, right against the grate. And he was just on his second interview, and it was about gun control. It was a whole new transgender issue where they're talking about, maybe taking away their rights or whatnot. I'm not sure all about that. But all of a sudden, I heard just one pop. Saw Charlie all of a sudden, go fall. His head kind of fell back, and blood was just gushing out of his neck. And then at that point, I kind of turned my head to look uphill because it felt like it came from up behind me. And then I saw everybody dropping, so I dropped down. And then the next thing you know, they said, run. So we all took off running. So I didn't see the arrest or anything like that.
What can you tell us about kind of the mood of the event up until this point? I mean, our John Miller was just reporting that this had been apparently somewhat controversial, but clearly it had drawn a significant crowd.
Yeah, we were all having a good time. I was talking to some of the college kids around me. I'm in my 50s, so it's kind of fun to hear the younger kids' point of views with different things. And so I was just kind of talking with them. We were doing chants, USA, Charlie Kirk, things like that. We were listening to some Queen and some Bon Jovi. Just having a good old time.
Radon, did you see any of the aftermath in terms of emergency first responders coming? Are reporting now that Charlie Kirk is in the hospital.
Okay, I'm worried about him because it looked really bad. Yeah, there was already some cops on scene, and he had security. I'm sure he had other people too that were not sure what their roles were. But as I was leaving, even running to my car, well, I briskly walked. But there was a bunch of emergency vehicles still coming in, even as I was leaving.
Radon, can you tell us a little bit about the security measures that were in place? You obviously were able to get very close to Charlie Kirk here. Did you have to go through a metal detector or anything like that?
Nope. There was none. They didn't even ask for tickets.
So this was an open event where you were able to walk up without having a ticket checked, without having your bag
Right.
searched or anything along those lines.
Yep, exactly.
All right. And is there anything else, Radon, that you noticed, that you felt at this event that you?
I mean, and that seems foolish to me. That there's, for one, like these have been, like hot debates for years. When Republicans go to these campuses or anybody and they always make a bigger deal out of it than it is. But it seems like at this point you should at least be making sure people don't have weapons in their backpacks. The political environment of the country right now is like I said, we are at a boiling point. And this isn't gonna fucking help. And I agree with you with the chat. Like it seems like this is a catastrophe. They're definitely gonna use this politically. We've been calling for gun control for so long, but it's beyond that now. It's the fascists are here now, and I agree with Chad as well. Like, I think any gun control coming from the fascists is suspect gun control. It's like right now, I don't think we need any gun control. But at the same time, like more and more people are going to keep getting shot, and again, the way you defeat Charlie Kirk is the way that Tilly defeated Charlie Kirk, the way that I covered on this channel, like a fucking week ago. Like you eviscerate his argumentation. You get up there on that stage in front of all those people and you blast him. You be prepared for him like she was. You don't fucking shoot him in the neck. That only hurts the cause further. Fuel to the fire, man. Fuel to the fire. We can't give them any reasons to come after us because they're looking for everyone. They're looking for every reason they can find.
You think we all should know about?
I just feel that for these type of things, they need to have better security.
From what I saw, I can't remember if it was in the chat or I think I saw it in the chat that somebody said that it was a white-haired dude, registered Democrat. That's speculation. I was watching the thing on Banksy. I think I had seen like maybe something, but I wasn't sure. Like, I think I just kind of overlooked it, but I think I saw something before I started the stream. But then, like shortly after I started the stream, John Hudson informed us initially. So since then, it was like a struggle. Like I want to know what's going on, but we're not going to know what really went on. I think. Hopefully, there's some really good journalists on the scene, and not just Fox News or the right-wing outlets.
They need to check bags. They need to have metal detectors. And that fell off when I went there.
Did you mentioned that there were some police officers on scene. Did you notice any security measures around Charlie Kirk beyond that, or did it stand out to you at all before this happened?
So Will Kincaid saying maybe they got the wrong guy. And again, like, I still want to hope, like, we are not to this point yet. We do not, like, we can still defeat this politically. We don't, like, this is unnecessary. And God damn it, like, people aren't going to be talking about Epstein much anymore, I don't think. I think this is really going to coalesce the base behind Trump once again. This what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? Like, this is not how you defeat your political enemies.
Yeah, so I think it was probably his own security and maybe some campus security.
If it was like that, like, who knows? You know, like Will Kincaid's reporting they got the wrong guy. So like it could very well be, let's speculate a little bit, like it could very well be somebody very angry over the Epstein files. And though, like, a lot of MAGA folks are very angry over the Epstein files. So yeah, if they did get the wrong guy, I'm just now like really getting the reporting on this. Then yeah, like maybe I shouldn't speculate that it's automatically a Democrat. I think everybody. I mean, probably too early to joke, but most Democrats probably aren't very good shots, and this guy seemed like a pretty good fucking shot. If you're gonna get what I think they're saying 2 shots to the neck, maybe it's one shot that went straight through. I don't know, but I think I saw 2 shots to the neck. That's some pretty accurate shooting. If that's what if I saw what I think I saw.
Fair enough. All right.
I don't know how many and where they were all located. I mean, these were just the ones I kind of saw up in my front area.
No, of course. All right. Radon Deshane, Radon, I'm sure this was very difficult to witness. And of course, as you note, we're all worried about the condition of Charlie Kirk at this point. I want to thank you very much for bringing the information that you saw to our audience. I want to bring into this conversation our Scott Jennings, because Scott, I understand you spoke with Charlie Kirk fairly recently, actually. And this is, someone that's very close to a lot of the people who are around President Trump. This is someone, he's got 2 young kids. Can you talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk, the person, what you
I think you can say Charlie Kirk was responsible for MAGA. Like he is the one that drove the young white male vote to MAGA.
Yeah. I did see Charlie a couple of weeks ago. He invited me to Turning Point
but you
USA,
defeat
that's
him,
his organization, an event for some of their supporters
again, like
Colorado.
Tilly did.
And I went and we did a conversation.
Or you do
Charlie,
the Unfuck America tour is
to
doing.
Many people on the right, especially a lot of young people.
I can't stand fucking Destiny, and he's fucking disgusting. But that's how you defeat Charlie Kirk. You follow him around,
being a conservative
and
a young
debates.
person at the same time. We went through an era where a lot of young people who felt conservative or had conservative values felt alone and felt like they couldn't be public about it. And Charlie shows up and starts to organize young people, and he starts to speak out, and he becomes this inspiration for a whole generation of young conservatives. And his organization starts to build. He has these chapters on college campuses. They have recently expanded into having chapters in high schools. They have a robust and growing high school network as well. To all these young conservatives, Charlie's their guy. And Charlie bridges that gap between the older politicians and the older sort of hierarchy.
Which, I mean, is really fucked up that they had expanded to high school. I wasn't aware of that they had expanded to high school. So it's like they're aiming for the youth because they understand that's where you win. And that's where, like, Democrats had made all those gains, is because we had activated the youth vote. But then we didn't do any of the things we told the youth we were going to do. We didn't really nothing about climate change. We didn't fight for it. We did nothing to help the working class. We didn't fight for them. But we told them we would. And we didn't do it. And they've been reaching out to the youth, and they've been winning the youth, and that's how they've been fucking winning. They saw what we were doing, and they said, we're going to do it better. And we're going to do it with deception and lies, because it's very easy to lie to people that don't understand civics. It just fucking is. You're probably going to have a lot more success on high school campuses than you're going to have on college campuses. People on college campuses are going to have a better understanding of civics, although, like, Charlie seems to do quite well on American campuses. Maybe he picks and chooses his crowds wisely in America, but it was definitely a different situation when he went over to Cambridge.
And the younger, excited, grassroots conservatives that are just getting into it. Now, Charlie and I work together. He's on the Salem radio network. He has the radio show that's on from noon to 2 each day. I'm on from 2 to 3. So I
mean, the thing you probably won't hear much about Charlie Kirk during these days is he was uber Christian fundamentalist. patriarchal home. But none of that justifies shooting the dude in the fucking neck, man. Like, it's fucking horrifying that you get to a point where you feel like you must kill this person. No, mimic him. Like, I agree with everybody in the chat. Like, he did harm to the country. But you counterbalance that with truth, not with violence. And I understand, like, the historical significance of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is kind of is utopian. But goddamn it, I've always been a dreamer. I have to believe we can still do this thing politically. Like, I could never see myself shooting somebody in the fucking neck. Anybody. Nobody. I just couldn't fucking bring myself to do it, man. I just couldn't fucking do it. Like, it can't come to this point where we're shooting each other in the fucking neck. It can't come to this point.
I just come on to do my show, and about halfway through it, we got the news that Charlie had been shot.
Which again, I shouldn't
And so
speculate that it's.
I had to talk through it.
That
this
it's that,
afternoon.
you know.
And I'll be honest with you, I am
Because we don't know. I don't know shit
in
at this
utter
point.
disbelief at this. I sat in this room last summer, the night they shot.
Really, if I'm
the
going to do this,
president.
I should like start a room or something.
And now they shot Charlie. And I'm not sure it's safe to be an outspoken conservative walking around in America right now.
See, they're going to spin it like that.
There's a lot of people out
That's
there who
bullshit.
are in absolute shock.
That's bullshit. See, that's fucking bullshit. You don't say that. You don't say it's not safe to be a child in America when there's mass shootings. Right now, it's not safe to be a Latino in America. You just fucking decriminalized racism and racial profiling. And I would say it's much more dangerous to be a Democrat, to be a liberal, to be a leftist in America right now. But this is what I'm saying. The fascists are going to be fascist. They're gonna run with this thing.
And are horrified by this. And I don't know what's going to happen other than to tell you that this nation is in desperate need of prayer and some kind of an intervention, because
Some kind of an intervention.
Doing?
So, what is that intervention? What is that intervention? Trump? The president? All right. Charlie Kirk was shot. We need a dictator. We need a dictator to come in and do something about what? We've been calling for gun control for fucking since I was a pup, man. You never cared. Like, oh my, this is a fucking catastrophe. It's a fucking catastrophe.
Making a speech, engaging in rhetoric, having a debate. That's the bedrock of our nation. And now you can't go out in public and engage in speech. It's the opposite of violence. Speech is the opposite. And so, I don't know what's going to happen to Charlie. All I can really think about is his poor wife and those two babies. And so, I think the best thing any of us can do right now is just pray for his recovery and pray for their comfort, because God help us, we're in a bad place.
You mentioned that what he was doing at this event was speaking, and we actually do have video of what Charlie Kirk was saying right before this moment. And again, we do have to warn you that this footage is disturbing, not because of anything that was said, but because we will freeze it at the end, because that is the moment when a shot that was fired hits Charlie Kirk. So let's watch a little bit.
You cannot say that Charlie Kirk wasn't a brave motherfucker, man. I mean, to stand out there like that, knowing that people hate you, right? You cannot say that he did not have what we would say in toxic masculinity, very big balls, like fucking huge fucking balls. I don't know if I could do that. Like, you know, I got nervous when the NIFB had me in their sights, right? Like, granted, I had an NIFB like to the north here in Michigan, and I had legitimate threats coming in, but like, that's nothing like this dude would be facing. And he still goes out there, white fucking t-shirt on, you know, crowds of people that fucking hate you. And obviously not even checking fucking backpacks. Like, I mean, you cannot say he wasn't brave. Like, the dude was fucking brave.
Of the conversation that he was having right as this unfolded. Let's take a look.
So, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay. Right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10
anybody
years?
in that crowd can have a
not
fucking gun, dude.
Violence.
Great.
Like right there, just sitting there, fucking. What the fuck?
All right. So again, very disturbing those moments there. And Max Rose, your former congressman from New York, a Democrat, veteran. You were listening to what Scott said just there. What is your reaction to what we've seen unfold today?
You know, politics is so deeply emotional and personal today, and my heart really goes
Will
out
Kincaid
to
said they got the wrong guy. Did they catch
Scott,
the right
you, and
guy?
everyone else in your movement who worked so closely with him, because there's nothing like being in the political trenches to forge incredible bonds. And I just can't imagine the pain that everyone is going through. I would urge us, particularly in a moment like this, to both not make this political and also to not jump to conclusions. We're not aware of the political affiliation of the shooter either. We have no idea what's going on right now. And so perhaps the only slight change I would make to what you said or suggestion is that I fear for anyone who's outspoken today for their safety, for how vitriolic the world is becoming. What I would just say from a purely analytical standpoint of that horrific video is that whoever the shooter was had an opportunity to undertake a mass shooting there and did not. Fired only one shot.
No criminal, certainly no one convicted in conjunction with a horrific crime like child sex abuse, no criminal should be given a reward for doing.
Oh shit! All right, so I'm not really finding much. That one ended. I don't have any of my news feeds anymore because I tuned out for so long in my like self-exploration. That is, and my YouTube algorithm's fucked, so it's like I'm not really getting much that I can watch. I wonder Times of India, 516 watt. Like I know like sniping shit is like fucking not allowed anymore. I'm just not getting any. I don't have any really news feeds. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of like end the stream, kind of find out what's going on. I might do a room tonight. Let me get over here. I haven't decided yet. Might wait till tomorrow because I'm off tomorrow. Although I do need to go to my work for a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna find out what's going on. I'm not try to, see if I can get some of my old news shits running, get some feeds, and see if I can get some like really up to date information. Don't bring the news feeds back; it's not worth it. Yeah, like I didn't really miss them while they were gone. It was a lot of Alan Watts and not like stress and fucking bickering and leftists trying to tear out each other's throats. So And what's up, Serb? Yeah, man, it's fucked up. Shouldn't, I just saw a post by Matt Powell, and I agree with that. Like, again, if they did indeed catch the wrong guy, and we don't know, but I do agree with the sentiment. Let me see if I can find Matt Powell's post again. Maybe I don't think I refreshed, so I should come across it. But it was essentially like, only cowards fucking kill their political opponents. So it was a decent quote. Matt Powell's on my Facebook now. He has been for a couple years. It's kind of weird, but he's never shared my Facebook, as far as I know. Knowing Matt Powell, he probably has. He just gets like 13-year-old acolytes to do it. Yeah, I'm not seeing his posts. I must have refreshed Facebook. And I never trust news feeds on Facebook. Like, I post memes and try to be accurate, but I don't trust anything on Facebook. Like, I'm seeing crazy shit. Like, MSNBC guest sickly speculates Charlie Kirk was shot by supporter firing gun in celebration. Like, what? But it's one of those fake conservative sites that Facebook pumps to me now. And it's so much like fake like right-wing propaganda that gets pumped through my Facebook feed. It's crazy. I don't trust anything in Facebook. So yeah, I'm gonna try to catch up on some news. I don't miss the news feeds, so, but it might be now that I'm talking politics again, I might need to have a clearer understanding of what's actually going the fuck on. Then what I do have things that kind of break through. I've had things that have broken through over the last year, several things, but I don't know. For me, it's been like a very diminished look at politics over the last year. I didn't want it driving me insane. It's bad enough that I understand, like, a lot of people are gonna die. Secular Pagan Mom. Oh, because you have like a new channel or something. Yeah, Secular Pagan Mom wants people to subscribe to her new channel, and I need to give her a wrench. I don't remember how to do it. Or add moderator. See, I don't understand like the new moderator shits. I gotta, that's different now. So, yeah, I'm gonna look at it. Maybe I'll do a room later if anybody wants to hop in and talk about shit. If not, I'll try to have one tomorrow. So, the earth ain't flat, bitches. I guess rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Damn, bro. It's fucking catastrophic.